Dave Rubin seemingly ran out of people to talk to on his show. This is both hilarious and sad. Take a look. Credit to Dave Rubin clips for this little segment that you're about to see.
The job for the rest of us is not to go into those silos. And by the way, I don't think that guys like us are doing that. Yes, is it much easier to get people that are, say, right-leaning on my show? Of course it is. Will I continue to try to reach out to the few lefties that are willing to have conversations? I will, but I'll tell you this. First off, most of them won't. They just won't. I mean, they just won't debate ideas because why would they? They've labeled everybody Nazis, and why would you talk to Nazis? And then also, why would you allow Nazis to be on YouTube? And why would you allow Nazis to sell their books on Amazon? And then next thing you know, Dr. Seuss is a Nazi. I mean, you see the never-ending expansion of this thing. But I'll continue to reach out to people that'll do it respectfully. But I can even tell you this, even some of my old liberal crew, it's getting harder to talk to them because they're afraid that if you talk to somebody that's more right-leaning, that the base will go for them too. So it makes our job as people that truly want to explore ideas harder.
It's amazing to me he's still doing this tap dance as if his whole thing is, I just want to explore ideas, bro. That's all I want to do. Almost every guest on his show explores the same tired old right-wing ideas. And by the way, most of his conversations come back to the same annoying-ass point of like, wokeness bad. Got it, bro. Wokeness bad. Oh, man, the left has really gone crazy. Isn't political correctness out of control? Isn't wokeness really bad? Pfft, I think it's bad. Yeah, I got it, bro. That's like your one point that you always come back to. And again, anytime he talks to anybody else, it's some right-winger discussing some right-wing idea. He just had fucking Mark Levin on his show the other day, one of the dumbest and most hyperbolic right-wing talk show hosts in the country. So it's just funny to me that at this late date, he's still pretending like, I'm just the ideas guy, bro. I just want to explore ideas. The same like 5 ideas over and over and over, and don't discuss any actual left ideas. So then he says, well, listen, it's just easier to get right-wingers on his show. That's true. I'm sure it is a lot easier to get right-wingers on his show. But then he says, most lefties won't come on. They won't debate ideas. No, Dave. See, that's where you're wrong. The lefties that you want to come on won't come on. So the ones that you think would be either more in agreement with the right or even dumber than you and easier for you to beat them in some sort of a debate, those are the ones who won't come on. There are plenty of lefties who will go on, but you don't want them on. I mean, Sam Seder's been begging to debate Dave Rubin for years. Now, regardless of what you think of Sam Seder, put it aside. You could love him, you could hate him, you could be somewhere in between. It doesn't matter. He's somebody who's been saying, hey, I would like to talk to you about a bunch of these things, and Dave won't have him on. Vosh, for example, is a guy who, he's a streamer, and he's a lefty, but he oftentimes does debates. It's one of the main things that he does. He fancies himself a bit of a debate bro on the left. Why not have him on? I just cited 2 who would be more than willing to come on at any time. And I'm sure there's way more who would love to come on as well, or who would have the conversation with you, whoever it might be, whether it's Humanist Report, whether it's David Dole, The Rational National, Farron Cousins. There's a number of people who will go on and talk to you about these ideas, but you actually don't want to have those people on. And Dave will lie to himself and lie to you and say like, oh, it's just because you're all like smear merchants, and so you're not serious, and that's why I won't have you on. But isn't it convenient? Anybody who's ever criticized Dave, in his mind, is by definition a smear merchant. And so he already pre-excludes anybody who's been critical of him from coming on the show. So don't tell me that you're about debating ideas. You're literally the exact opposite. That is not true at all. You're not at all about debating ideas. Just be more honest. Just be like, hey, I lean right now. Most of my friends lean right now, so I mostly want to talk to right-wingers because that's where my opinions are, and that's what I want to do. Okay, fair enough. But he doesn't say that. He's still doing the bullshit, the lying, And then he goes on, this is the best part. Even some of my old liberal crew, it's getting harder to talk to them. You know what that means, right? And I even might be able to tell you exactly who he's referring to. He's talking about the Weinstein brothers, one or the other of the Weinstein brothers, and he's talking about like Sam Harris. He's talking about people who are to his left. And those people see, hey man, you pretty much exclusively have on right-wingers, and oftentimes even far right-wingers. And we think that those people say, oftentimes on your show, say terribly incorrect things and get away with it. And so I don't know if it's a good idea that you have these guys on if you let them spew the misinformation and you don't push back against them. That's the gist. And that means, and Dave Rubin's reaction to that is, even some of my old liberal crew, it's getting harder to talk to them. Well, these guys have an issue with me letting on any insane far-right winger to spew bullshit and me not pushing back on him. So now it's harder for me to get along with Sam Harris or one of the Weinstein brothers or anybody else who he puts in this category. But isn't that funny? So Dave Rubin is running out of people to talk to. All he has is right-wing hacks. And so he's going to stay in that right-wing hack sphere. But now he's like, can't really talk to the liberals anymore and can't really talk to anybody on the left anymore. Dave, look in the fucking mirror. Look in the fucking mirror. It ain't them, dog. It is you.